5 seconds just sound harmless. 5 seconds is barely enough time to skip a song, regret sending a text, or stare at your fridge like it personally offended you. But if Earth lost oxygen for just 5 seconds, those 5 seconds would feel like the weirdest emergency humanity has ever experienced. The first thing you notice? Breathing stops making sense. Not forever, because 5 seconds is short, but instantly, your body knows something is wrong. The moment oxygen disappears from the air, every person on Earth loses access to the one gas your cells are constantly demanding, like spoiled little machines. You inhale and get nothing useful. No oxygen means your lungs are moving, but your body is basically receiving empty packaging. For a few seconds, most healthy people would not drop unconscious immediately because your blood already carries some oxygen, but your brain would react fast. Very fast. People would suddenly feel a sharp sense of panic, some dizziness, some confusion, and weirdly, hunger too. Because oxygen is tied directly to how your body turns fuel into usable energy. Without it, your cells immediately start noticing something is off, like the power grid just flickered. Your brain, which absolutely hates uncertainty, would probably send panic through your whole system before logic even arrives. So yes, for 5 seconds, billions of people would basically have the same thought at once. Why does breathing suddenly feel fake? But while humans are confused, machines start failing even faster. Because oxygen is also the secret business partner behind combustion. Anything that burns needs oxygen, so fires everywhere would instantly cut out. Candles? Gone. Campfires? Gone. Gas stoves? Silent. And now things get expensive. Airplane engines. Most jet engines rely on oxygen for combustion. No oxygen means the engine loses what it needs to keep producing thrust. So planes in the sky suddenly experience an engine interruption. Not instant falling chaos in 5 seconds, because momentum still exists, pilots still exist, and planes glide. But imagine thousands of aircraft suddenly feeling like someone hit pause on fire itself. That is a global headache. Gas cars would do the same thing. Internal combustion engines need oxygen to ignite fuel. No oxygen means your car becomes a very expensive rolling chair. If you are driving at highway speed, the engine cuts out. The car still moves briefly, but acceleration disappears. For 5 seconds, traffic everywhere becomes confused metal. And then, oxygen returns, which honestly would be the strangest restart in human history. But now, let's talk about the terrifying question people always ask. What about water? Because yes, water is H2O. 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen atom. So if oxygen literally vanished from matter itself, not just the air, then water stops being water. And that is no longer 5 seconds of inconvenience. That is full science fiction disaster. Oceans would not sit there politely. They would chemically collapse. Your blood, which depends heavily on water, would instantly stop functioning. Plants would fail. Cells would lose structure. Living systems everywhere would break so fast there would not even be time to react. But thankfully, when scientists talk about losing atmospheric oxygen, they usually mean breathable oxygen in the air, not every oxygen atom in existence. Because if all oxygen atoms disappeared, Earth would stop being a difficult place and start being an impossible one. And the sky? That gets ugly too, because oxygen helps form ozone, and ozone is one of Earth's best bodyguards. It absorbs dangerous ultraviolet radiation from the sun before it reaches us. Without that protection, even briefly, more UV radiation gets through. Now, 5 seconds alone would not instantly fry everyone, but Earth's protective shield would take a hit, which means sunlight becomes less friendly very quickly. And honestly, the weirdest part of this whole scenario is how 5 seconds feels tiny until you realize how many systems depend on one invisible thing. You never think about oxygen because your body handles it quietly. It just keeps you alive every second without asking for applause, until you imagine losing it, and suddenly 5 seconds sound extremely long.